Okay, so good morning to everybody. Today is Tuesday, so we are going to start working with our unit. We are in 4E, right? Yesterday we started working with, I'm enclosing my resume, which is what we are reviewing here is the cover letter. Okay, and yesterday we checked, point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3. But we are we have pending some points about writing skill, which is the formal style. Okay, so this is page 53. Okay, Kimberly, 53. And here we're going to go to the formal style. Okay, for all of you, for people who are watching this video, and for my student, and here you see this letter is better, that when you apply for a job, to write it in a formal style, right? So for this, we have to take into consideration some points. For example, here in 4, right? It says a formal letter in English uses these conventions, right? This is correct. It says underline examples of each one in the letter. Okay, the first thing, Kimberly, when you write a letter, you see a cover letter or a letter of application, which is the same thing. We usually use concise sentences. If, for example, if you pay attention to this example that we have in this cover letter here, right? For example, if I pay attention to this, what is a concise letter? I think the concise letter here is when I say, for instance, in the first paragraph, right, when you have the introduction, this person is very concise because he says in the second line, I will graduate in digital media in this month, from Boston University. Well, I think that this sentence is very precise, it's very concise, right? So this is the way we have to, write a letter, you see, of application. Now, formal phrases to begin sentences. Yeah, this is something also very important, right? What are the formal sentences or phrases in general, phrases, not sentences, that we use? Or we can say the ones that we use to begin a letter. Well, the first one is, for example, that's very typical. I'm writing to reply, for example, to da 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 da, and then you can continue. Or when you say, for example, I consider, this is very, formal. I consider, for example, myself to be maybe responsible, etc. Also, when you say I am available for an interview, that's also very, you see, formal. It's a formal phrase. I am available for an interview. Also, when you put, for example, in a specific part of the letter, I am enclosing my resume, that's also formal. And when you, for example, when you close the letter, right, it's formal when people use the structure I look forward, remember, to plus ing. I look forward to hearing from you. That's very formal in English. There is another, I think, important convention when we write a letter of application or cover letter, is that in English we can't use constructions, right? When the letter is formal. This is something we are not allowed to do. So, for example, instead of I'm writing, this is not good. You have to put, the full form. I am writing. That's, what we have to do. Or when you say, for example, instead of I'll graduate, no, we cannot use that construction. We use the full form. I will graduate. Or when you say I am available, no, I'm available, right? And so on. And then there is another thing that we have to keep in mind, is that the standard opening and closing, phrases. Well, for example, when you open a letter, most of the time we say, dear sir, or dear madam, right? This is typical, right? Like here, dear sir or madam. And then when you close, you put sincerely or yours sincerely. That's the typical, close. Okay? So, and also, well, sometimes we begin with the name. We say, for example, dear Mr. James, or when you know the name, if you don't know, you put dear sir or madam. Okay, that's a formal, very formal. All right, so these are the things that we have to keep in mind. All right, so if we pay attention to this letter, for example, Kimberly, here in the first part, in the introduction, right, you have, for example, I'm writing in reply to your advertisement in the Daily Herald for the post of research assistant. I will, you see, so this is correct. If you analyze, this letter is written in a formal style because it says I will, and this is a very concise, you know, I mean a sentence. I will graduate in media, in digital media this month from Boston University. That's it, period. I have
Profe,
experience, yes?
what does it mean by concise sentence? Like, I know the structure is that.
Concise means precise, precisas, concise, precise.
Straight to the point?
Yes, exactly. Not like
Okay.
in Chile that when we write, for example, something, you know, people say that we have a flourish, you know, language that we start, you know, writing and writing and writing, and we never go to the right point. So you have to go
Okay.
straight to the point, very concise. That's the idea. Concise, precise, muy preciso, precise, concise. Okay, and this is in English. Well, you had the opportunity to study in the US, so you could notice that American people, for example, are very precise, very concise. It's not like us, right? That we start, you know, wow, here I'm writing because I need to work and my family is la la la. No, in the States, they are very precise. Well, in writing, in academic writing, maybe when you have academic writing, maybe I don't know in what year, maybe in third year, I guess, or fourth year, you are going to be taught about also this. I mean, these things. I mean, what is the the real way to write, for example, a letter, or to write sometimes, you know, for example, when you write an essay, you have to be very concise, very precise with all the information that you're writing. Okay, so here we have. I will. So the first paragraph, I think, is okay. And you know this person, for example, Manny here says, I have experience. Immediately, when she introduces, you know, I mean, the letter, he says, I have experience in video production and post-production. Very simple. And then, comma, having worked, you see, so that is enough. Have experience in video production and post-production, and that's it. She's not telling, you know, other kinds of experiences like I have participated for example, in a computer fair. No, just that experience in video production and post-production. Having worked part-time in the university television station for the last year. So if we analyze Kimberly, this is a very precise letter, you see, because in this case, you know, this person is writing according to the post. And what is the post here? It's research assistant. And that's it, research assistant. So this is important when someone is a research assistant. It's important to know, for example, about digital media, because all the time you have to, I mean, start looking for information all the time, all the time. For example, where the good articles are, for example, if people have research on specific issues. So I think it's important. Okay, so if you continue with this, with the second paragraph, which is the main paragraph, well, the whole body of the letter is divided, as I told you yesterday, in three parts: introduction, main paragraph, and then the conclusion paragraph, or concluding paragraph in this case. Well, in the second one, I consider myself. Look at this, how precise this person is. When she talks about her, you see, I mean, let's say skills, and her, for example, let's say abilities. For example, she says, I consider myself to be hardworking and organized in my work. And that's it. She uses two important adjectives here to describe herself: hardworking and organized. With this, it's very good because people, what do people usually look for? People that are hardworking in a job and people who are organized. Because when you're organized, it means that You arrive at your job, for example, on time. You organize your activities. You also, for example, when you have a deadline, for instance, you always can do the things on time also. So organized is very important. Maybe you organize groups in terms of doing research, like in this case, it's a research assistant. And I think it's very good. And hardworking, well, that's perfect for a job, especially for this kind of job, research assistant. Because in this job, you have to work a lot, right? You know, a research assistant has a lot of things to do, especially this person has to help all the researchers, right? Okay, so here we have, I was responsible for planning, and then, you know, this person gives little information about something interesting in this kind of, you know, jobs, like when you're an assistant. I was responsible, you see, for planning schedules. Yeah, this is very important for this kind of job. And archiving, you know, past programs, meaning storing, that's archiving. It comes on to archive, right? Archiving past programs, meaning storing or saving programs. And then when she concludes, she says, ah, that's correct. When you conclude, well, you finish, you see your letter, saying that, of course, that you are interested for an interview. But in a very, let's say, formal language, we say, I am, no I'm, I am available for an interview at any time and can start work after July. I am willing, this is important too, I am willing to relocate, means to move, right? That's the relocate. I'm willing to relocate if necessary. All right, this is important. And then I am enclosing, yeah, this is very important also when you attach to enclose, right? I am enclosing my resume that gives full details. You see, so in this letter, that's why this letter is very concise, Kimberly, because in your resume, you can give more information about your work experience, you see. Maybe you can have there, we can find references where, you know, the people in this company, you see, can talk to someone that has worked with you. And so that's why he says that gives full details of my education, correct, work experience and skills, as well as my contact details. Yeah, because when there is a job, sometimes what we do is, for example, we usually call people when we receive lots of, you know, resumes. What do we start doing? We sometimes, you know, to be sure that this person is not lying, right? We usually call people or we send emails, you see, to know more information about this candidate, right? To be sure that maybe he can be within 4 of the people that we have chosen, right? Okay, and then when you say you close, and this is very typical because it's very formal, I look forward to hearing from you. That's typical informal letters, especially in this type of letter. I look forward to hearing from you. Period. Yours sincerely, comma. Always we put a comma here. And then you put your name, and most of the time you put your signature. Okay, so this is what, you know, this is in general the layout, you see, of a cover letter. Okay, Kimberly, do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so for example, here in letter B, what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite the sentences, but in a formal style. So in case that we want to write cover letter, but using formal style, for example, in number 1, instead of writing, I am finishing my degree soon, what is the formal style here? Instead of putting this, I am finishing my degree soon. In this letter, maybe we can find information about it. But instead of this, what are you going to use, which is more formal? I am finishing my degree.
I am graduating from my course of study soon.
Yeah, or I will graduate, or I finish. Maybe instead of I am, it's better to use in this case, you know, the future, which is more formal.
Okay.
I will finish, for example, my degree soon, right? No, I am finishing my degree soon. I will finish my degree soon. When people say, for example, instead of give me a call, well, instead of give me a call, what do most people, use instead of that, which is more formal? Because give me a call is informal. You can do that, but when you write, for example, an email is, is not formal, it's more informal. Yeah, but in this case, when you say give me a call, I don't think that this is like very formal style when, writing a letter. So what do we use instead? Do you remember the expression that we use when we close? When, for example, Kimberly,
as
when you,
well as my contact details. So maybe.
For example, Kimberly, when you write a letter, right, of this kind of letter, this cover letter, when you finish your letter, you cannot put, for example, give me a call. Give me a call. When you finish, when you close, you cannot write this because this is very informal, right? You put give me a call, maybe these people are going to think that this is a very informal person, so maybe it's not very responsible, you see, because of the style you're writing. So instead of that, give me a call, we usually use another, expression to close the letter. Instead, it's common to use I look forward to hearing from you. Right? Es como decir, espero saber de usted, right? I look forward to hearing from you. Esa es la idea de I look forward to hearing from you. Yo no podría colocar give me a call. Demasiado informal. It's too informal. Instead, you use I look forward to hearing from you. Always when you close, siempre cuando cierran la carta. And then you put, yours sincerely. Okay, Kimberly? Don't say, give me a call. In number 3, I was looking through the paper and I saw your ad and I thought it looked really interesting. Okay, so instead of that, we can say, for example, yeah, I was looking through the paper and I saw your ad. No, what is the best way to start a letter when you want to say this, which is more formal?
I am writing.
Yeah, I'm writing in.
To the paper.
In what? I'm writing in. What is the expression that we use? It's a typical expression. I'm writing in.
Reply.
In reply, exactly. I'm writing in reply to your advertisement in the newspaper. That's the expression that we always use. I'm writing in reply to. In reply to, right? So I'm writing in reply to your advertisement, right? In the newspaper. That's the way we use, okay, in a more formal way. When people say I am enclosing my resume, which gives my contact detail. I'm sorry, Nike. Sorry. My phone number is on my resume, which I've also sent you. Well, in this case, we never put this. We never use this. We never say my phone number is on my resume, which I've also sent you. No, just say in a more informal way is I am enclosing, which is the synonym of attaching. I am enclosing my resume, which gives you contact, details, but not my phone number is on my resume, which I've also sent you, right? Because this is very informal. But what is more formal is I am enclosing my resume, which gives my contact details, okay? This is the formal language that we have to use. And finally, when I say I'll be free in August, that's not very formal. I'll be free. So what do you use instead?
I will be available.
Yeah, good. I am available. Good. I am available from the beginning, for example, of August. I am available from the beginning of August. Okay, as you can see, Kimberly, So when we write letter, there is a kind of a special language that we use, okay? So, and this is the language that we call in English formal language, all right? It's formal because you're writing, to important people. In this case, for example, we are writing people from a company. We can write, for example, to a principal of a school. If you're applying for a job in a school, for example, we usually write to the principal of the school. Or if you're applying for a job, for example, at the university, we usually write the letter to the dean of the faculty, a un decano de una facultad, porque this is the person that is the responsible of the faculty. Or it could be to the director, you see, of the department. Okay, so that's why we use all the time this kind of language. We don't use, for example, it's not, well seen that we send, for example, an email. This is not good. And you can send an email. In what cases you can send an email? For example, when you're applying, for example, to a job which is temporary, which is not very important. For example, when people apply for a job, let's say in Ripley in Viña during Christmas time or during summer, that is temporary. It lasts, for example, for 15 days, sometimes for a month. But even though I'm not so sure, because sometimes people are very picky, in some cases, they ask for a letter. In other cases, you send only your resume with your contact details, there, right? But if you're writing to an important place, for example, Kimberly, imagine that you're interested in the future, right? To apply for a scholarship to study in the US, for example, to study a master's degree. Of course, that you have to be very careful, you see, when writing your cover letter. You have to write it in a very formal style because people who are going to review and read this letter are always, for example, master's degree, in English or in linguistics. They are experts in, for example, in choosing the right candidate, you see? So we have to be very careful when writing. Even when I write, I've written lots of letters, for example, supporting my students who are applying for these kind of, scholarships. So we have to be very precise, concise, but at the same time with a very formal, you see, style when writing. Okay, so that's why it's important to have at least the idea how to do it in order to succeed at the end. Okay, so, and I know that many of you people that are also watching me maybe are interested in the future, you see, to apply for a scholarship to study abroad. So in those cases, you need to write in a formal style. That's why you as teachers of English should know how to do it. Okay, let's go on then. Any question, Kimberly, to
No, I don't have any
so
question.
do you have now you're right about how to write a letter? Yes. So remember that. Remember you have this, this pattern. This layout is very clear and this is well written. Tiare, this is just coming here. So hello, Tiare. So you see, what we're going to do is we are going to write our own letter. I'm going to write mine, you are going to write yours, and Tiare is going to write, hers. So the idea here, you see, Tiare, are you listening to me?
Yes.
Yeah, Tiare, we reviewed with Kimberly, important things about, the formal style that we have to use when we write a cover letter. Tiare, this is very important because in English, when we write a cover letter, in order to apply, for example, for a job or to apply for a scholarship, this is what I was telling Kimberly, in case that in the future you're interested in studying in another country, you are asked to write a cover letter. And in this case, you have to be very formal. And when we are formal, There are certain, you see, I mean, phrases that we usually use, right? So, for example, I reviewed with Kimberly that we have to be also concise, precise when writing. We don't have to write a lot. We have to be precise, okay? So, when we do this, well, I just told her, for example, what are the formal phrases to begin sentences? We usually use like here in this letter. I'm writing in reply to. I consider myself to be a hardworking person, etc. I am available for an interview. I am enclosing my resume. And when you finish, you close. I look forward to hearing from you. No constructions, Tiare. No constructions, because constructions are informal. All right? So in a letter, when you're formal, constructions are not used. You say, for example, I am writing, not I'm writing. You say, for example, let's say, I will graduate, not I'll graduate. We usually use I am available, not I'm available, all right? So these things are also important here. And the standard phrases that we use to open, for example, the letter is typical, dear, sir, or madam, because most of the time we don't know the name of the people. For example, if you are applying for a maybe for school and you don't know the principal of the school or the person that is in charge of receiving the letters, you write dear, sir, or madam, and then you put, you know, I mean, a semicolon, right? And when you close at the end, you put yours sincerely, and you always put a comma, right? Like the same as you see in this example that you have here. Okay, now with Kimberly, we reviewed, so you can check them in the, see, when you have time after, you can see, you know, the recording and check letter B because we did it. Now we are going to go to the number 5 because the idea is to write our own letter. Well, here it says, number 5, write a cover letter to go with the job application. Okay, so the idea is that I'm going to tell you, right, the application, I mean, or what you are applying, what kind of job you're applying for in this moment, okay? It says, follow the layout, yeah, follow the layout, this format that we have here, we're going to follow, and we're going to follow the style also. Right, okay, so in this moment, Tiare and Kimberly, you are going to apply, you see, let's say there is an advertisement, for example, in El Mercurio newspaper, right? For the post of, let's say, English, you know, English, English teacher, right? At, let's say, what's the name of this school? The name is St. Paul's School, at St. Paul's School, which is, this is a private school, a very good school. English there is very important, so most of the students in that school speak in English very well. They have a lot of hours, so teachers have to be very good there. Okay, so this is, you know, remember, you just saw an advertisement in the Mercurio newspaper, and this is a post. They're, you know, looking for someone. The post is, you know, an English teacher at St. Paul's. You know, this is a school in Viña del Mar. This is St. Paul's School. Okay, so you have to apply for it. You know, the requirements are, it says in the Mercurio newspaper, a full-time job. So we're looking for someone that has to work there, you see, for a full part-time job. Okay, so this is a full-time job. All right, we need also someone, you know, that has to be, you know, an organized teacher. Organized, because in that school you have to do lots of things, a lot of activities with the students. Okay, All right, so you have to focus on this, and according to this, you have to write, you see, this letter of, you see, application or cover letter, as some people call. Well, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to invent, okay, the name of the principal because I really don't know the name of that person. Well, the name of the person, the principal of the school is, its name is Paul Davis. That's the name of the principal. So the letter, you have to send the letter, you know, to that person. Paul Davis, and he's the principal of, you know, Saint Paul's apostrophe S school. This is in Agua Santa, Viña del Mar. Okay, Agua Santa, Viña del Mar. And then remember that your address has to be written on the right upside card, on the right, okay? So you write your address there. Like, for example, 14 North Street, I am inventing, 14 North Street, Viña del Mar, let's say Viña del Mar, Chile. You don't know if you don't know the post, for example, some people don't know that. So you just put that. And then the date, June the 9th, I guess. I don't remember exactly. Okay, 2020. Clear or not? Tan claras? Are you clear about these instructions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, do it. Right. Remember the writer's address, so you're writing, so you have to write your address and the date, and then on the left, you write, you know, this person, the name of the principal, that is Paul Davis. He's the principal of the St. Paul's apostrophe S school in Agua Santa, Viña del Mar. And he's a man, so when you know, you put, well, if you know the name, of course, you're going to write dear, for example, in this case, dear Mr. Davis. Dear Mr. Davis. When you know the name, yes?
We have to do it right now or for homework?
No, the idea is to do it right now because we have to work hard on it to check how you're writing. Yeah, you're going to do it. It's not so long. Yeah, Animo, please motivate and start doing this. I can help you, of course. Yeah, right? Because the idea is to check it. I want to check it. So we have, remember that this is good to check how you're doing it. This is the job application. And then we're going to see, I'm going to see together with both of you, if it is clear how maybe how to contact this person, if the style you're using is appropriate. And I have to see if you as a candidate sound like a good one. And then I'm going to decide at the end if I'm going to give you the interview or not, according to the letter that you're writing. Yeah, maybe you're going to take only 5 minutes. I don't think, I mean, 5 or 7 minutes to write this letter, no more than that. In case that you have any question, please ask me. I am here. Tiare, are you okay with this?
Yes.
Yeah, are you clear? Careful with what I said, because you were not when I explained, you see the style. Be careful with the constructions that you cannot use when the letter is formal. And remember to be concise. For people who are watching this video, the students are writing in this moment, a letter, a cover letter. So they have 6 minutes to write this letter. And then we are going to exchange, these letters and to see, if they have fulfilled with some important, facts about how to write a letter of this kind, and to see, at the end, if in my case, for example, I would give her the interview on or not. If I decide not to give the interview, of course, I'm going to explain my reasons. Also, remember punctuation, which is also very important, especially commas. I have to remember you babies, especially the ones that are not now with me, that in English is considered, you see, very important. The position of the address and date, right? And also, you see what to include. All right, how are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need some help, babies?
No,
No.
okay.
Not yet?
Almost finished.
Okay, all right, good. Perfect. 50%. When you're ready, please, you tell me, let me know, so as to check your letter. How many minutes? Yeah, 8:55.
Profe, ¿es posible poner I am attaching my resume or it has to be I am enclosing the...
Both are correct. You can say, well, we mostly use I am enclosing, but if you write I'm attaching, it's not incorrect. It's also correct. So both of you are okay. I am enclosing or I am attaching my resume. All right. Okay. Okie dokie. Are you ready or not? You're about to finish. We have almost the number of, we are about to have the 6 or 7 minutes. You're writing now very fast. You see that you can do it because you're about when I am enclosing on my resume. All right, babies. 8:58.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Tiare, good. Kimberly, yes. Tiare? All right. All right, let's see. So I would like to share, this letter with me so as to see how the letter, sounds, if you sound like a good candidate or not, or what are the things that we can, improve in this letter. All right. Who starts? Any of you? Yeah, Kimberly. Okay, you start, Kimberly.
Okay, so in the right
The right
corner, I
side?
wrote my
Mhm.
address,
Yeah.
and then for this person's address, I wrote Agua Santa Viña del Mar,
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote, Dear Mr. Paul Davis, I am writing in reply to your advertisement in Mercurio's newspaper. I have recently graduated in English pedagogy at University of Playa Ancha. I have experience working as an English teacher and also as a private tutor of this language. For the next paragraph, I wrote, I consider myself as a responsible and hardworking. As part of my job, I was in charge of planning schedules for my classes. And then for another paragraph, I wrote, I'm available for an interview at any time and I can start immediately. I am willing to relocate if necessary. Then for the next paragraph, I wrote, I am enclosing my resume and recommendation letter from my previous employer. It provides full details of my vast experience in this field of work. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours sincerely, Kimberly.
All right, and did you put Kimberly, did you put the commas where it corresponds with dear Mr., dear sir, or dear Mr.
Yeah.
Davis, comma? Yeah, okay. So this is something that's very important. And when you finish a paragraph, the first paragraph, you put a full stop, punto aparte, and then you start the other paragraph, yes? And then
Yes.
put in the main paragraph, you also put the full stop, punto aparte, and then you start with the other paragraph with the capital letter on la, capital letter mayúscula at the beginning, la I, because there are students who still write I with, not with capital letters. So this is a mistake. And then, well, you continue with the other paragraph. You also put full stop, and then you start with a capital letter, and then you put a period, and then you close, yes, and then you put a period, and when you put yours sincerely, comma, right? Okay, yeah, all right. Good. I think this sounds very good. And this candidate, imagine that you're applying and I am in charge of looking for the right candidate. And I think that this person, like you see this, I have never seen in my life, and it says Kim, right? And I think Kim sounds a very interesting candidate because she has experience, you see, working as an English teacher. And I think that, well, she's an English teacher, of course, and she has studied English at university. So this is another, point that is important to consider. So it sounds interesting about, her personality too. So maybe we can call her. I think it's not maybe. I think we will call her, right? Since our decision at this moment of the speaking, I will call her because she sounds a good candidate. Okay, what about Tiare? Can you, exchange your letter with us?
Yes.
Okay.
I put my address, Viña del Mar, and the date.
Yeah. Did you put it on the right corner, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
And the left
Did you put?
sign.
Yeah. Wait. Did you put after your address? Did you put the date?
Yes.
Yeah. June. What today is June the 9th. Okay. And then comma 2020. Yes?
Yes.
All right, good. And then?
And the left, St. Paul School, Agua Santa, Viña del Mar.
Yeah, and the name of the principal? Yeah, did you write it?
No.
Yeah, you have to write it because I gave you the name, yo di el nombre. So Paul Davis, right? And then the
Right.
address, Paul Davis,
Yes.
principal of St. Paul School.
Yes.
Yeah, and then after that, well, Viña del Mar, Agua Santa, Viña del Mar. Dear,
Yes.
yeah, dear Mr.
Dear Sir Paul David, I'm writing in reply to your advisement in the Mercurius newspaper for the post of be a teacher.
Tiare, wait a minute. When you write dear sir or etc., dear, yeah, when you put dear, el apellido que es David, yeah, you have to put dear, se usa así, dear Mr., como es un señor, Mr. Davis. No se le coloca el nombre, se coloca el apellido nomás. Dear Mr. Davis, cuando tú empiezas. Dear Mr. Davis, y ahí le colocas una comita. También se puede poner un punto, pero generalmente se usa toda la coma. Dear Mr. Davis. Si es una mujer, tú vas a tener que colocarle, por ejemplo, Dear Mrs., que es más formal, aunque tú no sabes su estado civil, se pone Mrs., MRS, por ejemplo, si fuera la señora Davis, ¿ya? Dear Mrs. Davis. All right? Yeah.
All right.
Now, okay.
Empiezo otra vez.
Yes, I'm writing, please.
I'm writing in reply to your advisement in Mercurial newspapers.
To your what? To your what? To your? Can you repeat again that word?
To your advisement.
No, advisement, no. Advertisement, advertisement.
Eso.
Ah, okay. But get it, pronounce advertisement, advertisement.
Advertisement.
Yeah, okay. In the
Mercurius newspapers.
No, Mercurio newspaper, nada más. In the Mercurio newspaper.
Okay.
Ahí no
For
lleva.
the post,
Ya,
be a teacher in St. Paul School.
ya. For the post of an English teacher, ya, at St. Paul School. All right. Period. Punto, ¿cierto? Ya.
Yes. I graduated
Mhm.
in English pedagogy,
Yeah. English
pedagogy
pedagogy, right?
at at Universidad de Playa Ancha.
Okay.
I have been working in San Margaret School.
Okay. Right.
Otra línea. I consider myself.
I would say I would improve that, Tiare. I have worked as an English teacher at St. Margaret School. I have worked as an English teacher si es más por un tiempo harto, podría, en ese caso sería in St. Margaret School. I have worked as an English teacher in St. Margaret School. Period. Punto. Because if you put this, si tú colocas esto, I have worked in St. Margaret School. Oh, I have worked as a teacher in St. Margaret School. This is a good thing. It's algo bueno because that school is also very good, and all the English teachers, work there a lot, doing different activities in English. All right.
Yes. I consider myself to be responsible, organized, and hardworking in my work. As part of my job, I have experience planning schedules.
Schedules, yeah.
Otra línea, I'm available for an interview at any time. I can start right now if you need someone.
I can start right now. Period. Nada más. Suficiente. I can start right now. Punto. Yeah.
En otra línea, I'm enclosing my resume that
Yeah.
gives full details of my work experience, education and skills.
Okay.
My personal email and contact.
Yeah. Okay.
Punto. Yours sincerely, Thierry Sandoval.
Yeah. What about contact? You say contact, punto, period. I look forward. Remember, that's very important. Ese es el close. How you close the letter. ¿Cómo cierras? I look, siempre se coloca esa frase, que es una frase muy formal. I look, no se dice, por ejemplo, lo que estábamos viendo con la Kimberly, por ejemplo, give me a call, deme una llamada, por favor. No, no se pone eso, because this is not formal. In English, we always put this expression, Tiare, I look forward to hearing from you. That's typical, period, punto. Y ahí después, yours sincerely, coma, Tiare Sandoval. Okay? I look forward to hearing from you, period, yours sincerely.
Okay.
What I would say, Tiare, what I would add, yo lo que te agregaría aquí en el, I am responsible for schedules, yeah. But apart from that, in that paragraph, I consider myself to be organized. ¿Qué pusiste tú? Organized. Yo le pondría también an organized and an enthusiastic, como entusiasta. Enthusiastic, because teachers have to be very enthusiastic, you see, and energetic también son características súper importantes, aparte de ser organized and responsible, right? Because they are very important, responsible and organized. But also I would add, yo agregaría como también enthusiastic or energetic, because you need energy to work in schools because there are many students there. So we have to do different things all the time, right? Okay, so these two candidates are, I think they are good candidates. Both of you sound, good candidates. So what we're going to do is maybe we are going to invite you, to have an interview with my staff in this school, right, in St. Paul School. Also, I have to tell you that the principal will be part of this interview. To finally, decide who is going to be part of our school. All right? So very good. I can say that both letters, I mean, were well written, because in both letters, it's clear, you see, that you have included the important things that they are, apart from the writer's address, apart from the date, apart from, the recipient, I mean, the recipient, you see address too, and the greetings, I mean, the salutation when you say dear mother or sir, etc. Introduction is clear, the main idea is clear, the concluding paragraph is also okay, and when you close the letter, right? I remember, Tiare, is the closing is, I look forward to hearing from you, okay? I think the style is appropriate because you didn't use any constructions here, so you use full forms that are used in formal language. And I think that you both sound like good candidates. So on this basis, we are going to call you for an interview, as I told you, with our staff. So congratulations. You see that it's not terrible? The thing is to know, only to know, just to know the exact, you see, way how to write it. And then when we are clear about what we have to do on the right corner and then on the left, and then we start our paragraphs, introducing, you see, the main part of the paragraph, and then concluding paragraph, closing the letter, and then your complimentary close, that it means yours sincerely, comma, and then your name and signature, okay? So these are the most important things to keep in mind here, all right? Now you can send a letter to a school if you're interested in, for example, maybe substituting someone. When you substitute, hacer un reemplazo, when you substitute, for example, a teacher because he is sick or he has a terrible cold for 1 week or 2 weeks, maybe you can also apply for it. All right? Any question, Yare, that you were not in the first part? No questions? Or questions? Do you have questions here? Are
No,
you?
miss.
No? Yes? Yare? No?
No.
Okay. Now, so this is the end. So with this letter that you have written, this is the end of this part. If you want, please, you can maybe send me this letter, and the other people that are watching, you can do the same. You can write, this cover letter. So I'm going to post in the Google Classroom to write a letter, to write a cover letter. So you have to do the same, please, the same what your partners did here. And in this case, that Tiare and Kimberly just wrote the letter, you two babies can send it to me, to my email to check, just in case that you have any mistake in writing and you couldn't see it, for example, okay? So I can see it and I can check it, all right? Now, what are we going to do now? So we are going to start then, let's say, talking about our next unit, which is going to be for, let me see if I'm right or not, because I have to be careful with Ricardo. Yeah, Ricardo has, I am in charge of this one. Yeah, he's AB, A, and B. No, this is mine, sorry. AB is mine, AB. CD is Ricardo, C and D. E, F is mine. Yeah, so F is the other one that I have to work. So for this, I want to start first, let's say, talking. I mean, like we're going to have a speaking section now, and then we're going to, maybe on Friday, we're going to see the video about Confucianism in China. But first, what I want to tell you is, I want to know if you have ideas about Confucius, which is this, it was a very important king. And do you know, and he was a leader, of course, a leader. I don't know if you have heard about him, this important, person. I have to tell you that this man was an important philosopher, right? And of course, that he was from China, and he governed. I mean, many years ago, he governed. You see, what we call this a dynasty, right? But I would like you to know maybe there are important things about beliefs of this, philosophy, right? It's important to know that, Confucianism is considered uh, more as a system of social and ethical philosophy rather than a religion. So it's more, you see, this is important. It's like an ethical philosophy more than a religion that some people can think, right? And Confucianism, is a way of life. It's a way of life taught, by Confucius in China, right? I think it's in the 6th and 5th century, right? BCE. And well, some of the most important beliefs that I want to share with you because they're very important. These beliefs were, you see, expressed many babies, but many years ago. And I think they are very important, about the things that are happening also today. Because this guy, as one of his beliefs, he said that there's one rule for him, and the rule was silver, silver, that metal, silver rule behavior. And he believed, you see, in this thing. And he says this rule is very simple. I want to tell you to give me your opinion. The rule states, it says, the rule is simple, and it implies, that what you do not, what you do not wish to choose for yourself, never impose it on someone else. Look at this, how important this belief is. I'm going to repeat again. That's called silver rule of behavior. It implies that what you do not wish to choose for yourself, never impose it on someone else. What do you think about this belief that is called silver rule of behavior? I think it's
I
very.
don't understand it, Miss. Can you explain it with like maybe easy words?
Yeah, okay. It implies, for example, he says that what do you not wish to choose for yourself? Sorry, for yourself. For example, if you don't, let's say, wish to choose something, you see, for you, right? Maybe because you don't like it, maybe because you are not interested, right? Maybe it doesn't go with your beliefs, etc., right? So this is what you do not wish to choose for yourself. If this happens, or not happens, it doesn't matter, but what you do not wish to choose for yourself, never, please, never impose it, you see, on someone else. So, for example, if you not wish to choose for yourself, like what? Maybe if being a nurse, okay? Being a nurse, for example. You do not wish to choose this for you, being a nurse. So, never impose this, being a nurse, on someone else. For example, if you have a kid, never impose your kid, you see, on something that you didn't wish to choose for you. Did you understand now or not?
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay. Yeah.
You see that it has sense. Tiene sentido. It has a lot of sense. And I like this belief because it's true. Or maybe, for example, what do you not wish to choose for yourself? Imagine that you do not wish to choose what? Maybe, for example, you do not wish to choose to participate in, let's say, for example, let's say, in a neighborhood, let's say, union, for example, right? So never impose it on someone else. So why do you have to impose this that you don't wish to choose for you? Do you know the idea?
Yeah, I
Because
get it.
in other words, the idea is that maybe that we are free, to choose for us what we think is the correct thing. And what we think, you see, is the correct thing. We cannot impose this, what we believe, to other people. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. And you, Tiare?
And I agree with this belief as well, because if you don't want it for yourself, why would you want it for somebody else then?
Yeah, of course. I think it's so, this belief, yeah, Tiare, is so, let's say, I think, intelligent, right? This man, I think, shows wisdom in this kind of belief, because this is something that sometimes Kimberly does not, maybe this is something that is not respected. You see, Kimberly and Tiare? So sometimes, especially when we are in a family or people many years ago, this was very common many years ago, in some families. So when they have a wish, to choose for you, for example, and sometimes they used to impose that on maybe on their children, etc. That was terrible, I think. So this is a rule of behavior. Imagine that this guy said, okay, so we are going to put this country, China, because he was from China, in order. I'm going to propose, these rules. One is rule of behavior. And he gave a name, and he called silver, rule behavior, right? Very interesting. So it implies that you do not do, what you do not wish to choose for you, never impose it on someone else. Oh, I think this is brilliant, brilliant, right? Because this is true. And other things that this guy, also, another belief is that he called the 5 virtues, las 5 virtudes. Imagine in those times. I think that he was very, very clever. The 5 virtues. He says the first one is called Jen, well, in China. But what does it mean? ¿Qué significa? It means helpful. Yeah, look at this in those times. That this is what we need today, baby. Helpfulness, empathy, and kind nature. So helpfulness means, when people are kind. La amabilidad, ese es el noun, ¿cierto? Because of ness, sufijo. Helpfulness, la amabilidad. Empathy, miren, pues la empatía, that's what we need today. Empatía, entender al otro, empathy. And kind nature, y se pensó en la naturaleza, kind nature. O sea, una kind nature means that a nature that we have to take care of. And this is what we are not doing today. I think this guy is so brilliant. This is one of the 5, the second rule for him, for this belief, not rule, a belief. This is another belief. It's not about 5 virtues. 5 virtudes. One is Jen, una se llama Jen, que es en chino, Jen. ¿Y qué significa el Jen? Significa eso, la amabilidad, la empatía y una naturaleza que sea bien tratada. O sea, helpfulness, empathy, and kind nature. Don't you think, babies, that this is something that we need to have in this world we are living now? And this guy lived in the 6th, 5th century. Imagínense que vivió en el siglo V, so many years ago. And he thought about these important issues and virtues, virtudes, que la gente debe tener, virtues, right? So helpfulness, empathy, and kind nature. Another one, son 5 virtudes, pues son el yi, en chino, ¿qué significa? ¿A qué se refería allí? Al rightness, o sea, rightness, que es la confianza, la honradez. Miren, por lo que hoy pasa hoy día. Rightness. Duty as guardians of nature and humanity. Mira, el deber de los protectores como protectores, un deber de los protectores de qué? ¿Protectores de qué? De la naturaleza y de la humanidad. Mira, yo lo encuentro, pero tan brillante esto, rightness, confianza, honradez. And the third one is, la otra virtud que pensó este caballero se llama Li, que se llama, ¿qué es lo que se refiere Li? Right conduct, appropriateness, and outward expression to demonstrate your inner attitude. También me encuentro maravilloso. ¿Cómo se refiere a una conducta o al ser humano correcto? Rightness, appropriateness, a la pertinencia. You see, an outward expression, la expresión está, digamos, de afuera, to demonstrate your inner attitude, y demostrar la actitud que uno tiene interna. Después el chi, que significa es wise thinking. Miren, un pensamiento, tener un pensamiento sabio. Sabio, eso es lo que necesitamos hoy día, un wise thinking, pensamiento sabio. El hisen, que es trustworthiness, eso es la confianza, perdón. Es el trustworthiness, confianza, and faithfulness, y lealtad. Confianza y lealtad. Miren qué importante. La lealtad con las personas, con mis amigos cercanos, con mi familia, con mis compañeros, con mi gente que me rodea, con mis vecinos. Honradez, confianza, lealtad. So, trustworthiness and faithfulness. These virtues, estas virtudes que llamó las 5 virtudes, que son parte de sus creencias, right? These virtues are very important for everyone. Esto lo declaró, ¿ya? Como su principio de su filosofía ética y social. Le llamó Social and Ethical Philosophy, right? Are very important for everyone. Esto dijo él que era muy importante para todos, baby, for everyone, but it's important, especially, miren que es clever, this guy, this is very important, especially for the leader, o sea, el que va a ser el líder, the person who is going to lead, you see, a country, or the person who is going to lead a group of people, or who is going to lead a place, you know, an organization, needs, you know, to have these virtues. Don't you think it is interesting, babies? ¿No creen ustedes que es interesante esto? Don't you think it is interesting? Hmm?
Yes, and I agree with most of them.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I'm going to send it to you. Se los voy a enviar esto porque es súper importante este documento de Confucianismo.
Okay.
Esto es para introducir el video que vamos a ver de Confucianism, right? That this guy being, I mean, from many years ago, tantos años han pasado, baby, del siglo V, imagínense cuántos miles de años, y el hombre ya pensó en cosas tan interesantes y tan importantes, que son cosas que deberíamos tener hoy día en nuestra mente, ¿ya? Como las virtudes que él creó, ¿ya? Que son importantes, sobre todo para un líder, y no solo para un líder, para el mundo en general. Imagínense la amabilidad, la empatía, el cuidado de la naturaleza, todas esas cosas, el pensamiento sabio, la confianza, la honradez, la lealtad, que hoy día como que se ha perdido, la lealtad con los demás, la gente que nos rodea, etc. Importante eso, me parece súper importante. 5 relationships, después, otro de las creencias del confucianismo, es 5 relationships. Otra de sus creencias, él habló de 5 relaciones, de las relaciones entre las personas, que eran importantes, 5 relationships. Mira, nombra father and son, la relación que tiene que haber, que tiene que ser muy importante según él, en un país que él las declara como sus creencias, es la relación entre father and son, la relación entre a ruler and a citizen. A ruler, I mean, talking about the man who is going to rule a country, el que va a gobernar un país, esa relación que tiene que haber entre él, and a citizen, y el ciudadano común y corriente, a citizen. A husband and wife, la relación entre older brother and younger brother, pensó en eso, older brother and younger brother, between 2 friends, miren, 2 friends, las relaciones, 2 friends. Each one of these relationships must contain mutual respect to keep the relationship working. Each one of us must perform our role to the best of our relationship. And one must honor and remember the members who have died. Ancestors are not to be seen as gods, but remembering them is considered as an important act It says hens or sing in their own culture, en su cultura. Yeah, so I think, there are 5 important beliefs, son 5 creencias importantes del confucianismo, right? That he, created. Okay, I'm going to send it to you, this document, because I think it's very important, super importante. Se los voy a mandar, baby, for you to read it, because it's also, he also speaks about marriage. Habla también del matrimonio, according to the Confucianism, and the dowry, del dote que tienen que tener por esos tiempos, hace cuántos años atrás. Possession, and the other 5, I mean, the number 5, sorry, is death, la muerte. He also talks about that in their beliefs. So, we are going to stop here. Tienen clase, yo sé, son las 9:30, tienen clase con la Miss.
Sí.
So, tomorrow, no, on Friday, we are going to see the video about Confucianism, right? Because it's very important what we have today. This is now more modern, es más moderno lo que tenemos ahora en el video, but this is something interesting to know in order to understand, you see, who this philosopher was, right? Okay, so thank you very much, babies, and think about these beliefs, piensen en estos beliefs that are important today in this world that is so strange now. Okay, thank you very
Okay,
much.
Miss.
You're
And
welcome.
see you next Friday. Have a good day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.